Hi, it's Rebecca Sullivan for Lewisville Family Counseling, and we are reading Chapter 50 of Just One Thing. Whoops, let's see if we can get that. Developing a Buddha brain, one simple practice at a time. The lighting's not going to work for us. But that's what we're reading. Chapter 50 is called Fill the Hole in Your Heart. As we grow up and move through adulthood, we all have normal needs for safety, fulfillment, and love. For example, children need to feel secure, adolescents need a growing sense of autonomy, and young adults need to feel attractive and worthy of romantic love. When these needs are met by various supplies, such as the caring of a parent, the trust of a teacher, the love of a mate, the positive experiences that result then sink into implicit memory to become natural resources for well-being, self-regulation, resilience, self-worth, and skillful action. This is how healthy psychological development is supposed to work. But it doesn't always go this way, does it? In the lives of most people, me included, even without any kind of significant mistreatment, trauma, or abuse, the incoming stream of supplies has sometimes been a thin soup. Perhaps your parents were busy caring for a sick sibling or preoccupied with their own needs and conflicts, or you moved around a lot as a kid and had a hard time connecting with peers, or high school was more than the usual social nightmare, or potential lovers weren't interested, or jobs have been frustrating and dispiriting, or, in other words, a typical life. The shortages in a thin soup leave lacks, deficits, and key internal resources. For example, I was a year or two younger than my classmates, which led to a shortage of inclusion and valuing from them, which in turn led to a lack of confidence and sense of self-worth in groups that persisted into adulthood. The absence of good things naturally has consequences, and so does the presence of bad ones. When blows land, when there is loss, mistreatment, rejection, abandonment, misfortune, or trauma, they leave wounds. Sometimes these heal fully, usually due to a rich soup of supplies, but often they don't, leaving pockets of unresolved emotional pain, like pus beneath a scab, while also affecting a person's functioning like a lifelong limp from a broken ankle that never fully mended. These are horribly descriptive examples. A lack or a wound will leave a hole in your heart, which gets even deeper when the two exacerbate each other. For example, I vividly recall a time a popular girl in high school really put me down. It was like a minor blow in its own right, but the years of social isolation had left me with no shields or shock absorbers to buffer its impact, which was to make me feel awful about myself a long time afterwards. So what can you do about your own lacks and wounds? You've got them. We all do. Life alone can be healing. As time passes, you put more distance each year between yourself and the train wreck of your early childhood, 7th grade, first grade love, last job, last marriage, or whatever, you move on to a better place. But this is essentially a passive process of being carried by life, and it's often not enough for real healing. It's too slow, or it doesn't reach deep enough, or key ingredients are missing. Then you need to actively fill the hole in your heart. So how do we do this? It's fundamentally simple. You take in the good experiences, which we learned in Chapter 2, and that are specifically aimed at your own lacks and your wounds. It's like being a sailor with scurvy. You need vitamin C, not vitamin E, for what ails you. For example, I felt both protected and independent as a child, so experiences of safety and autonomy as an adult, while valuable in their own right, did not address my issue. I needed the particular healing balm of experiences of inclusion and respect in groups. Consequently, it's important to know what your own vitamin C is, and sometimes a person needs more than one kind. Perhaps you already know, but if not, here are some questions to help you find out. When your lacks or wounds developed, what would have made all of the difference in the world? What do you long for today? What conditions help you feel truly happy and bring out the best in you? What sort of experiences feed and soothe the deep hunger inside you? More specifically, here's a summary of some healing experiences, vitamins, targeted for particular lacks and wounds, organized in terms of 3 motivational systems in your brain. So this is set up like a chart. So I'm going to try to read out what it says for each of these situations. So when we are avoiding harms, the lack or the wound is usually feeling weak or helpless, alarm, anxiety, resentment, or anger. And so the vitamins to help these would be strength and efficacy, safety and security, compassion for oneself and others. If we are approaching rewards, then our lack or wound would be frustration, disappointment, sadness, discontentment, the blues. So the vitamin would be satisfaction, fulfillment, gladness, and gratitude. And if our difficulty is attaching to us, then the lack or wound is not being seen, feeling rejected or left out, inadequacy or shame, abandonment, or feeling unloved. So the vitamin would be attunement, inclusion, recognition, acknowledgement, friendship, and love. Once you have some clarity about the psychological vitamins you need, the rest is pretty straightforward. Look for these vitamins in your life. Also do what you can to create or increase them. For example, I keep my eyes open for opportunities to feel liked and appreciated in groups. Plus, I prod myself to join groups to create those opportunities. The vitamin you need is an experience, not an event. The point of situations in which you are protected, successful, or appreciated is to feel safe, fulfilled, and worthy. This is hopeful because it gives you many ways to evoke key experiences. For example, if feeling that you matter to others is what you need to fill the hole in your heart, you could look for signs that others wish you well, whether it's the smile of someone making you a sandwich in a deli, the encouragement of a coworker, or a lover's hug. Think about the many people in your life today or in the past who like and appreciate you. Ask your partner to be affectionate and be open to hearing what would help him or her to do this as well. Try to develop more relationships with people who are by nature warm and supportive. Be willing to get a slice of the pie if the alternative is no pie at all. For example, if you finish a tough project at work, focus on the sense of accomplishment for everything you got done, rather than the few loose ends. If a friend is warm and loyal, open to feeling cared about, even if what you really want is romantic love. Then, using the second and third steps of taking in the good from chapter 2 again, really savor the positive experience for 10 or more seconds in a row, while sensing that it is sinking deep down into you, giving you what you've always needed. Have confidence that every time you do this, you'll be wiring resources into your brain. When I started this practice myself, in my early 20s, the hole in my heart looked like the construction site for a skyscraper. But I just kept tossing a few bricks, a few experiences of feeling included into that hole every day. One brick alone will make little difference, but brick after brick, day after day, year after year, you can really fill a very big hole in your heart. So let's ask ourselves this week, what is it that we need to heal those hurts that we've incurred over the years, whether it was in childhood, as an adolescent, even in our adulthood, and be willing to ask for help from others. Have a great week.